What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of So In Outdoors. Greatly appreciate y'all taking the time to click on our video. Finally hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. It's been a little bit of a journey. In all honesty, I haven't really dedicated the time to it that I probably should have. But thanks to all of you guys who made that possible. If you're not a subscriber, please take the time, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It helps us grow our channel and continue to bring content to you guys and hopefully teach you a little something, or if not, maybe you'll get a laugh out of something stupid we do, which tends to happen quite often. I've had a lot of questions about this, and I'm putting out a video on this, and it's long overdue. Should have done it a long time ago. Probably should have done it at the beginning of the year. I've had several people ask what my electronics setup is. So I'm still running the ZXR20 Skeeter, same boat I've had for about 3 years now. This is the 2021 model. I haven't changed a lot on the electronics, but I have made some tweaks that have really helped us on the water have a really successful year this year and into last fall. And let's just jump right into it. So let's go back to the console first, and we'll kind of go over what we got back there. Pretty standard setup. I don't run two screens or anything like that. I've just got a Humminbird Helix 12 back here, and I can have all these units tied together. So I can mirror images. If I've got a guy in the back of the boat and he wants to be able to see an image from the front of the boat, I can mirror that on this back unit back here. That's pretty key, especially if we're doing some offshore fishing where you're fishing a very specific piece of structure. Being able to have all that network together is huge. That's also going to be connected into my Minn Kota Ultrex. So I can actually run that Ultrex from the graph. So some of the lakes that we fish are trolling motor only. So I can actually sit back here at the console and I can run my trolling motor from this back graph. So if I want to kind of graph around in a lake, especially one that doesn't have a lake map, and I want to build my own map in this Humminbird unit, I can do that from the console. I don't have to be standing up on the trolling motor. I can run that right here from the graph. So let's go to the front of the boat, because that's where most of the business goes down. I mean, I use the 12-inch graph in the back. That's, you know, my mapping is a huge key for me back there. Really doing a lot of map research, really focusing on my mapping. But when we get up and start making casts, this is what I'm running up here. So I've got a Humminbird Helix 9 here, and then I've got a Helix 12 double stack deal here. So on the 12, I'm running the Humminbird 360. So I've got this where I can interchange all of these from any graph at any point in time, but predominantly I run the 360 on this 12. And then I have the Mega Live here, and I'm actually running the Mega Live on the 9. Now this is where a lot of people have been kind of confused. They're like, hey, why are you running the 9 for your Mega Live instead of the 12? I have found for me, the 9 gives me the best image for the Mega Live. When I put it on the 12, it seems to distort or stretch that image a little bit. So I just kind of like the way it looks on the 9 better. And then the 360, I can get a little bit more detailed picture on the 360 imaging by having a blown up bigger image of it, where I can tell, hey, is that a rock, or is that a stump, or is that a log, or what is it that I'm casting at? So that's kind of my combo there. Now, the Mega Live has kind of changed, I don't want to say the way I fish, but it's made me much more efficient. So I've talked about this in some past videos. If you haven't seen that, I will stick it right here, up here somewhere, wherever you can click on that tag and it'll take you to that video. So it has made me much more efficient. And what it does is, by running the 360, even when I'm just fishing down the bank in a certain area, I'm constantly glancing down at my 360 imaging here so that I can, you know, see a stump or a log or something off the bank. And then it allows me to take my Mega Live, pan it over to that structure, and see if I actually see a fish. Now here's the key. I don't have to see the fish eat the bait. That's one of the biggest things that guys need to understand with utilizing live scope, forward-facing sonar, Mega Live. You don't have to get caught up in watching the fish eat the bait. Knowing the fish is on the structure is just as valuable to you than physically watching the fish eat it. And in fact, I've had more success not watching the fish eat the bait. just making a regular cast, fishing it just like I would, but knowing that fish is there gives me the confidence to make a repeated cast, you know, 2, 3 casts, whatever, to get that fish to bite. And sometimes they don't bite it to the 3rd, 4th, 5th cast. So that's my setup there. Now I'm going to show you kind of how I have that rigged. All of this stuff goes back here, and this is going to get to be a little bit of a mess. Thank goodness for Ralph at Perry Marine for doing the rigging on this, because I am no good at it. I did rig the Mega Live, and he would probably say I did it wrong. I've got everything going into a fuse block here underneath the day box in front of the driver's side console. So all my power is running through that fuse block. From that fuse block, it then goes back to the battery, and then it is put through right back here. I'm going to open up this back motor compartment. We've got an inline breaker here, and it's all powered through that. So I can kill that breaker when I'm not using it. And then I have my main power switch here in the back of the compartment. It's nice for, especially with the 360 and everything that pull power all the time, so to speak. It's nice to have that inline breaker, so when I'm not using it, I can flip that breaker. I know that I'm not drawing power, and then that way I don't run my batteries down. Especially when the boat's just sitting here in the shop and I haven't plugged it in for a few days. I don't want that thing just sitting there running. So having a way to, an all kill is very important on your electronics setup. Another important thing is isolating your electronics as much as possible. Try to keep all your wires from any other major power sources, you know, i.e. like your trolling motor power or anything like that. We want to try to keep it as isolated as possible. So then another key thing that I have added to this boat that is a must for me is, so my Mega Live, that power is going to be on all the time, constantly on. So if my main power is turned on the switch back here, and let's say I don't want to run Mega Live, I just want to run my 360 down scan or 360 in mapping, and I don't want Mega Live up. If that's the case, I can leave my main power on back here, and I have wired in an extra switch right here so that I can flip that switch on and off. Now it is just a lighted rocker switch. I went with a lighted switch so that I would know by glancing down if I see that red light, whether it's on or off. And it allows me throughout the day where I'm saying, hey, I don't want to run this thing right now. Reach down, flip that switch, power's off to it. I don't have to worry about it running my batteries down. Nothing worse than not using it all day, running your live well pumps and everything else, and you get ready to crank up the big motor to run into weigh in, and she's dead. So I have lots of kills. I want to be able to kill the power in certain places whenever I need to prolong the battery life. Sometimes I think having too much sonar cloud going on, a lot of noise in the water, can be unproductive in super shallow water situations or when you're fishing very, very close to fish. So sometimes I'll kill it all and I won't have anything on. But that switch right there, if you wire up your own Humminbird Mega Live or your Lowrance Active Target or Garmin's Live Scope, make sure you wire in a separate switch to power those on and off so that you can turn it off throughout the day. And some of them may have their own setup. I know Humminbird didn't, so I had to wire one up. All right, guys, well, that pretty much covers my electronics setup. I could go into more detail about how and when and why I use them here or there. That is to come in other videos, but I mainly wanted to break down how I have them set up for now, and hopefully helps you guys get some different ideas on how to rig your boat. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Greatly, greatly appreciate you doing so. I will be glad to help you with any questions that you may have. And if you got a buddy, hey, send it to them, share it with them, and maybe it'll help them get their electronics set up the way they want in their boat. It doesn't matter what brand you run, whether it's Humminbird, Garmin, Lowrance, they're all great, and everybody's setups are a little bit different, but this is what I have found works best for me. You all have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.